Hi friends, it's me, Mr. Wilson, and I'm here with Ace Lacewing Bug Detective. So this is our last book in our mystery unit, because next week's is a chapter book, and I don't feel like reading that, so we'll be reading another picture book. However, today we're still on mystery. So the summary of this story is that Ace Lacewing is a bug detective. He aims to get rid of Motham City of its bad bugs. Motham City's mayor calls on Ace when Queenie Bee, head of the city's bee honey department, goes missing. With his butterfly girlfriend and mosquito policeman friend, Ace scours the city, following a trail of seedy bugs and sticky clues to find Queenie. So as we open our story, right inside, we have a map of this city. Now I'm going to let us take a look at it now, and I'm going to point out some things, and then we'll talk about it at the end. So we have Termite Heights, we have Drone Honeyworks, Beetle Zoo, the Hive Rise, Six Legs Amusement Park, Police Station, Cricket Creek, Cafe Aphid, and Ace's Office. So down here is a key which tells us how many millipedes is for 1 and how many millipedes is for 5. So they're kind of playing out the words like miles and Six Flags Amusement Park. So let's see what Ace is up to. It was a night like any other night in the city, hot and sticky. Great weather if you're a bug. Everyone's a bug in Motham City. Some good, some bad. Bad bugs are my business. I was in my office eating some aphid lo mein when the phone buzzed. I answered it. Ace Lacewing, bug detective. It was Mayor Busby. Behind him, it sounded like a beehive of activity. Actually, it was a beehive. What's the buzz? I asked. Ace, said the mayor. I'm at the Hive Rise with Princess Pollen. Queenie Bee's been kidnapped. Get over here, now. Queenie Bee kidnapped? Who would do that? A thing like that. Everyone loved Queenie and her sister, Princess Pollen. The Hive Rise Honey Company made the best honey in town. Maybe someone thought it was too good. So are we hearing all of the funny bee words like beehive of activity, Princess Pollen, Hive Rise Company, Hive. Ooh, trying to get your attention. I was just about to fly out the door when I saw her standing there, like a moth drawn to a flame. Actually, I was her flame, but she was no moth. She was the lovely rare butterfly, Xerxes Blue. Dr. Xerxes Blue. Not the kind of doctor who takes your tonsils out, the kind of doctor who studies bugs. Dead bugs. No time now, I said. The mayor needs my help. But those eyes weren't taking no for an answer. Oh, AC, she said. How about dinner at my place tonight? Just you and me. I'm making your favorite. Avids a la mode. How can I resist? Avids have been my favorite ever since I was a little larva. But I also liked honey, which reminded me. The aphids will have to stew, sweetheart, I said. Queenie Bee's in a honey of a jam. So how can you tell how Ace feels about Xerxes Blue? Is there anything on these pages that help you know how he feels besides the words coming from his mouth? What do we notice up here on their heads? There's some heart-looking bugs, aren't there? So we can tell that they are in love with each other, and he says, sweetheart. Downtown, the traffic was crawling. That's what traffic does in Motham. It really crawls. Hey, Ace. It was Sergeant Zito, a mosquito, and a cop. I've known him ever since we were pupa at the same school. What do you know, Zito? I asked. We have a couple of witnesses, Ace, but none of them are talking except this little maggot. So on this page, I know it's kind of hard to see in my video, but do you see any kind of funny, humorous things that are in the text in these illustrations that normally wouldn't be in our human world? So our little street lamp here says crawl, and ours normally says walk because bugs crawl and we walk. This mosquito still eating a donut. It has a bite taken out of it, so that's pretty funny. And then one other thing I noticed was the police tape, instead of saying caution, crime scene or whatever, it says police, bug off. So it's saying stay away, don't come here. Okay? So those are some funny things that we've noticed on these pages. Comment below if you see anything else that's funny. I saw the whole thing, cried the maggot. I was crawling around, minding my own business, when all of a sudden, I heard all this screaming. I thought maybe it was a damselfly in distress. But then I looked up and I saw him right outside the hive rise, a couple of hooded bugs running off with Queenie Bee. Ace, Zito leaned over and whispered, you believe this maggot? How could he have seen anything? He doesn't have any eyes. I frowned. Which way did they go? What do I look like, a tour guide? Squirmed the maggot. I should have known better than to ask directions from a bug with no arms and no legs. I told Zito to start rounding up suspects. I looked around and noticed a suspicious trail of honey leading away from the crime scene. I followed it. At the corner of Tomato and Vine, I stopped in my tracks. The honey trail led to the beetle zoo. Lacewings have lost their heads to beetles, but I was on a case, and there was a plate of hot aphids waiting for me at the end of it. The trail went through the broken gate, and so did I. The honey led past the giraffe weevils. It was hive-rise honey, all right, still warm. I heard a noise, and I stood up, and I froze. Someone had let a tiger beetle out of his cage, and this guy didn't want to play. He wanted to eat. I did the only bug detective worth his wings would do. I screamed and I ran, smack, into a wall. I heard a familiar flutter of wings, and the world went to sleep. Wake up, Ace. My head spun like a whirligig in a whirlpool. I tried to stand up and found myself face to face with a stick, a walking stick. You don't look too good, Ace, Twig said. But if Xerxes hadn't saved your sorry thorax, you wouldn't have any looks at all. Nyuk, nyuk. Acey, said Xerxes. That was a nasty hit you took. It could have been worse, I groaned. It could have been a windshield on the interstate. I was lying in the corner of the police station, behind Sergeant Zito, Xerxes, and a maggot. A bunch of handcuffed roaches and other pests were waiting to be questioned. Everyone had an alibi. The roaches said, of course, they ran from the scene of the crime. It was their nature to scatter when the lights go on. Why do you think they wear sunglasses? They asked. Before we could question the cicada, it molted and flew out of the window. Twig couldn't have run anywhere. He was a walking stick. We brought in Smooch, an assassin bug. No one wanted to get near his kisses. We decided to call it a night. So it looks like they're striking out. They're not finding who took Queenie. The full moon hung in the sky like a large compound eye as we left the police station. Psst. Hey, Lacewing, a voice whispered from the shadows. I know who's got Queenie and why. Who are you, I asked. A drone who knows the truth, he whispered. But there are too many eyes and too many antennae around here. Let's go someplace we can talk private. We never got the chance. Why do you think they didn't get the chance? Somebody get kidnapped? It happened as quick as a cricket. A drive-by gassing. Hit the dirt, I shouted, but it was too late for the bee. I couldn't make out the driver, but the other was no doubt a bombardier beetle. I could tell by the smell. I wonder if he had a license to pass gas. I checked the bee. He wasn't moving, but he was trying to say something. I lowered my ear to his mouth. Drone honeyworks, he moaned, and then no more. Al the drone, I muttered to myself. Al the drone, said Zito. Oh no, not Al the drone. Please don't let it be Al the drone. Anybody but Al the drone. Ace? Yeah? Who's Al the drone? Al the drone owns Drone Honeyworks, he said. Some bugs say he has his sticky little mandibles and more than just honey. I think we should pay Mr. Drone a visit. Xerxes worked on the bee as Zito and I took off across town. Outside Droneworks, the smell of honey hung thicker in the air than ants on a popsicle stick. Savage mantises kept guard. As we crawled around the back of the building, I got a sick feeling in my gut. The back of the gate of the Beetle Zoo was right across the street, and the trail of honey led from the zoo to the honeyworks. We need a way in. But how? Two dung beetles were making their way up the street, rolling their dung ball and collecting trash. They rolled up next to us. You thinking what I'm thinking? I whispered to Zito. The dung beetles were too busy to notice us. Oh no, Ace, not the dung, said Zito. Hold your breath, I said as we leapt onto the dung ball. We rolled right past Mantis into Honeyworks. I peered in a window. What I saw made my antenna quiver. In the shadows, I saw someone tied up and blindfolded. It looked like Queenie. She sure wasn't getting the royal treatment here. Ace, said Zito. We've got company. One of the mantises had followed our dung prints. He didn't look too happy. Neither were we when he tied us up and carried us inside. Inside, the aroma of honey and pollen was sickeningly sweet. I've been in hives before. You can tell a good hive by the buzz of the bees. The buzz in here was not good. The mantis looked as if he were in a trance as he trotted us past rows and rows of honeycomb. Standing in the shadows was Al the drone. Hey, boss, croaked the mantis. Look what I found snooping around outside. Well, 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 if it ain't the little lacewing and his blood-sucking friend, said the drone. That's a common misconception. Actually, it's the female who, Zito groaned as the mantis's claw tightened around him. I know you got Queenie here, drone, I finally squeaked. My eyes ran out from all the pollen. You'll never get away with it. Funny, said the drone. That's the same thing Queenie said to me, and look where she is now. He pointed behind him. I couldn't believe my eyes. Queenie was stuffed into a honeycomb, alive but not for long. If Queenie was holding her breath in the honeycomb, then who was tied up in the next room? All this and the stench of honey made my head spin. I tried to put the facts together, but they wouldn't fit. Who was the mystery bug in the shadows? And why did the drone smell of pollen? Pollen, that was it. The clues clicked together in my head like a skipjack beetle. Any last words, Lacewing? The drone muttered. Yeah, since when do drones gather pollen? The whole place went quiet. Ha! You're clever, Lacewing. Clever, 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 said the drone, emerging from the shadows, tossing hat and coat aside. Princess Pollen? Zito shuddered. In the exoskeleton, she announced triumphantly. But why, I asked. Because I'm sick of being princess. I want to be queen. She stomped, mad as a hornet. It's always Queenie Bee this and Queenie Bee that. I'll never have my own hive with her around, so I'm making it look like Sleazy Al the drone got rid of her. You guessed it, Lacewing. That's him tied up in the back room. With Queenie and Drone Honeyworks gone, I'll be queen of the town. As for the mantises, they won't remember a thing. I hypnotize them with my pollen dance. You're in a rather sticky situation, Lacewings. So see ya. Wanna be ya. Princess Pollen made her way to the door. She signaled the mantises to seal us in the honeycombs. I had to think fast. Something fluttered overhead, so I shouted the only thing that makes a mantis run for cover. Bat! The mantis threw us high in the air. We soared helplessly until whatever was flying above us grabbed us. Who do you think was flying above them? I think it was the butterfly. Are we still on for those aphids, AC? It wasn't a bat, it was Xerxes. She had rounded up every cop from here to Termite Heights and brought them to Honeyworks, saving my wings again. Dawn was emerging like a monarch from a chrysalis when Xerxes and I sat down for a plate of aphids a la mode. Here's to blue wings are my favorite things, I said to my gal, and the city of Motham fluttered awake behind her. The end. So this map in the back, now that we've read our book, we could see, more of the details about things that were happening in the story. So Ace's office is all the way over here. So he traveled to Hive Rise, which is where Queenie Bee and Princess Pollen were from, and noticed that they were missing. And he tracked the honey all the way through Beetle Zoo into Drone Honeyworks. So he kind of made a diagonal line on the map. And then Xerxes said that she brought police all over Motham City and Termite Heights. So she went over to Termite Heights and got police to come to Drone Honeyworks to arrest Princess Pollen. So, thank you for listening to the story of Ace Lacewing, Bug Detective. And you can go online to LitPro and either take a quiz over Ace Lacewing, or you can read your own book and take your own quiz. And then if you would like extra work for reading, you may get on Word and accomplish some of those skills on there. So I hope you guys are having a fabulous day. It is almost May, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.